let's talk about the Facebook ad restrictions. We touched on it briefly earlier in the presentation. And real estate now, because of the Cambridge Analytica scandal and whatnot, and the privacy issues, now Facebook has gotten more restrictive on allowing people to use third-party data. And real estate is one of those that comes into as a special ad category. And it's related to the Fair Housing Act to avoid discrimination. You know, if you're targeting people with the categories like race, gender, age, household income, it's prone to abuse, and you could be discriminating in your advertising, okay? So now advertisers, if you want to use this kind of information, you got to go to third-party companies, and you're talking huge companies, Oracle, you know, Axiom and Epsilon. These are huge companies, and it's really out of reach for the average advertiser. And you've got to use special ad categories if you're doing anything related to selling or renting properties, listing open houses, things like that. You could use it if you are promoting to the industry, the real estate industry. For instance, you know, I am doing ads where I am targeting realtors, so I can promote to the real estate industry. It's not related to housing, so it's a little different. And this makes the Facebook ads a lot harder to target the people that you need, okay? You can't use zip codes, for instance, so it makes it more difficult. So that's where the AI aspect of this comes in. Google also uses some AI functionality in their AdWords. So, you know, if you have an AdWords agency and you want to delve into that, you can get better targeting on that. But when it comes to using AI, that's where AI comes in, because it incorporates all these third-party companies' data along with Facebook's algorithm, so that it makes it really more effective. My promise of using artificial intelligence to double your GCI, let's take a look at that now. So this is basically what realtors do to get deals, okay? They have a website, landing pages, social media presence, Facebook ads, you know, et cetera. Here, you could read this list. So how many of these are you currently doing? Let's get some responses from the chat box here. George says he's doing the networking. He's got a website from his the main brand, his main company, Century 21. Ben is buying ads from Zillow. He's very unhappy with that. He says most of the leads are not good, and by the time he reaches them, they've already taken other agents. That's where the follow-up comes in. You gotta really use some of these services to take the load off of you. There's no way you can always follow up within 5 minutes when a lead comes in, especially if you're doing lead generation marketing where you're actually generating a lot of leads, okay? So what's the one thing in common to all the methods above? Anybody want to take a guess at that? Helena's got it right. That's right. Paul, not quite. All right, but basically here, these methods all market to everyone in your farming area in a non-targeted way, okay? So we go back the slide here. Okay, you look at mailing campaigns, pardon the spelling, email marketing, cold calling, open houses, networking in person, things like that. That's all based on, you know, billboards, bus benches, things like that. That's sending it out to the masses, and hopefully people will self-select who are interested, and you'll get the leads that way. But it doesn't use behavioral targeting. Okay, so a lot of money is wasted marketing to a majority of the people who are not in the market for your services. So really only 3% of your market is really ready to buy it at any given time, and another 7% may be thinking about it. So you got maybe 10% if you're generous about that. Okay, so you could, if you're only marketing the people who are ready, you can bring down your lead cost from 25 to 75%. Now, okay, well, that sounds great. How do you find these people who are ready? Well, that's where the AI comes in. So here's a little metaphor. Imagine a stadium of people representing your market, but only 30 of them are ready to list with an agent now, okay? It's like, let's say there's 1,000. There's obviously more than 1,000 folks in this stadium. Stadium can hold people that would amount to the population of a small town. Okay, so there are very few people are really ready to enter the market of this. Okay, so instead of paying to market to the entire stadium, hoping that they reach a few potential customers, using AI, we can determine those that are ready to retain your services, so you could speak with them before anyone else. So without getting too much in the weeds on it, we're able to look at online behaviors, keyword searches, things like that, and using third-party data, what we call it big data, in combination with the Facebook's algorithm, we're able to find these folks and bring your costs down and bring the quality of people who are ready to act, bring them up the quality. So that's what AI does, and what we've done is sort of the economies of scale. We're able to tap into this, and we spread it across all clients, and this way it brings the price to within reach. That makes sense, and especially the ROI when you're doing a deal, in the, let's say, the 300 to 600K range. That's the sweet spot on this, and it's really, we have a lot of great response on that. So that's a way to access the AI when it comes to lead generation. So I get this a lot. People get concerned, that technology is going to supplant their jobs and things like that. And if you're talking manufacturing, yes. But real estate agents need to adapt, or they risk becoming yet another footnote in history. Okay, by 2022, and that's only 2 years from now, 65% of top real estate executives are already more likely to invest in predictive data. Okay, that's big data, whatever you want to call it, AI. But as you're well aware, and the redeeming concept here is there's no substitute for the value of a real estate agent. From contracts and negotiations, industry expertise and experience, it's great that you bring many benefits to the table, okay, and the intangibles of the human component that's involved in the transactions as well. So fear not, your jobs are going to still be there, but for the brokers and the teams out there who really want to ramp up their qualified lead generation using some of the technologies that we discussed, using ISAs, automated follow-up systems, it's going to be important for you to get an edge, especially in this competitive field. So I mentioned here resources. These are some of the resources that you can check out for, messengers and virtual staging, things like that, and ISA, Animoto, and Virtuettes for property videos. Those are sort of basic. Those are not like what I showed you. What I showed you as an example is some of our templates that we use. When it comes to those social media posts or chat bots, AI, appointment bookings, you can contact me and reach out, and we'll get on a call, and we'll see if it makes sense for you and your business. So there's my phone number, email address. I'll take some questions now if anyone has questions on this.